and good afternoon. Here in Pauley Pavilion, we are ready for a top 10 women's basketball matchup deep into Big Ten Conference play. It's the number 2 UCLA Bruins hosting the number 8 Iowa Hawkeyes. Hawkeyes coming off their first conference loss of the season on this California road swing, just lost to USC earlier this week. The Bruins, meanwhile, had a bit of a scare on the road against Illinois their last time out. Both teams looking to bring their best today in what's going to prove to be a pivotal matchup in deciding who's at the top of the Big Ten.
Said it perfectly, Justin. Both these teams at the top of the Big Ten Conference, such a deep slate of teams. This afternoon at Pauley Pavilion is going to decide a lot heading later into the conference season and even postseason play. Obviously, as you said, UCLA had their struggles on the road against Illinois, but are back in their home house. How are they going to respond to that against a very talented Iowa Hawkeyes team?
How will they respond indeed? The Bruins have been blowing most of the teams they faced out, but this is not going to be an easy ride for them.
Absolutely. Head into the tip-off, Lauren Betts and Ava Hayden. That is going to be the matchup to watch today for the Hawkeyes and the Bruins.
And the ball's up, and Betts wins the tip. Coming up with it, Charlize Ledger-Walker running the point for the Bruins. Now getting the touch on the wing is Neepkins into Betts from the free throw line. Tries the jumper, it's no good.
Hayden gave her the space there right at the free throw line, but Betts unable to convert.
Now here's on the perimeter, Kylie Fierbach. Trying to get some space for three now, dumps it into the post to Skolky. Here is Deal on the drive.
Great defensive play by Betts.
Out to the wing, Fierbach no good on the three, and Betts corrals the rebound. Rice going the other way.
Excellent defensive possession right there for the Bruins, starting things off with that tenacious defensive front against the Hawkeyes.
And here on the drive and the finish, Charlize Ledger-Walker using that right hand and then finishing with the left.
Quite the nifty move there from Ledger-Walker, able to drive right to the cup and finishes at the rim.
Here's Hannah Skolky handing it off to Chitchat right. Pump fakes, goes left behind the back and back out to Fierbach. Now looking in the post for Hayden, bit far out. Tries to get a screen for Fierbach, who finds in the corner Addie Deal, no good on the three, but an offensive rebound by Hayden. Back out to Chitchat right, top of the key, it is good. And Iowa takes a 3-2 lead 2 minutes into this game.
You cannot leave right open. 47.2% three-point shooter, one of the best in the Big Ten. Left her open and she took full advantage of it, punishing the Bruins.
Here's Hawkeyes posting up, tries to spin and can't finish with the left hand. And fouls Skolky on the rebound, who corralled it for the Hawkeyes.
Good look there from Hawkeyes. Had a nice little spin move in the post, but is just unable to get her touch right to put off the backboard and in. But solid move there from the guard.
That size will be a factor for Hawkeyes. Bruins, one of the tallest teams in the nation. That'll be a matchup to watch. Ava Hayden, a beautiful pass. Finds Skolky under the basket for the easy finish. 5-2 Hawkeyes.
Skolky finding the open space in the paint. And that is poor defense from the Bruins.
Betts in the post. Backing down Hayden. Goes up with the left, banks it in.
That's the matchup we're going to want to watch out for tonight. Betts versus Hayden. Betts gets the better of her Hawkeye counterpart.
And here's Hayden going up with a shot of her own. That's no good. Rebound up to Ledger-Walker.
It's caused by the tip from Betts.
And that pass trying to feed Lauren Betts is just over her head. Gianna Neepkins looking to feed 51 yet again.
It's going to be live or die in the paint today for the Bruins. Expect them to feed Lauren Betts in the interior relentlessly.
And so Chitchat right, 3 minutes into the game, handling the ball here for the Hawkeyes, who have a 1-point lead. Hayden on the elbow, going left on Betts, spins and puts up the layup. It's no good. Ball will stay with the Hawkeyes, though. Hannah Skolke fighting under the basket for the rebound.
Hayden had a great look, got Betts moving, and just couldn't finish it, but had the open space, lofted it up, but unable to finish.
Yeah, Betts 6'7" on the inside, just an absolute massive human in the middle. And that inbounds pass is troublesome, but Skolke's able to corral it just before it goes behind half court, but she loses the handle. And going the other way, past Kiki Rice, dumps it under the basket.
What an athletic dish from Rice there. Was able to cause that play.
And it was Angela Dugalich with the finish who just came in the game. Here's a foul as the quick layup there from the Hawkeyes went into the hands of the Bruins.
A lot of hustle that we've seen on display thus far. Both Hawkeyes and Bruins crashing the floor for these loose balls. That one elicited a foul in the Bruins' favor, but these two teams playing hard early.
So Kiki Rice, quick pass to Gianna Neepkins. Now Angela Dugalich just checked into the game. Finds Betts in the post. She goes up immediately and finishes. The Bruins take an 8-5 lead 4 minutes into this first quarter.
Went back to the interior with Betts, and she's able to get her 4th point of the day.
And there's a foul down low. Angela Dugalich fighting hard down there. It looks like Skolke picked up, or drew the foul rather, for the Hawkeyes. A lot of physical fighting going on under the basket early in this game.
Especially with that Bruin height advantage, Hawkeyes are going to have to be very physical.
As there's Taylor Stremlow using the left hand for the finish. A nice scoop, and the Hawkeyes are back within 1.
Saw Dugalich try and get back to Betts. Close it off well.
Yeah, here's Kiki Rice, top of the paint. And a 1-2 beautiful finish from Charlize Ledger-Walker, taking some big bounds to get into the paint.
Ledger-Walker has been very aggressive in her driving today. We see that again, 4th point today.
Hayden under the basket. Pass deflected by Neepkins. Now going the other way, Dugalich tries to go up with the floater and the foul. Angela Dugalich, the one-player fast break, and she puts the Bruins up 12-7, pending the foul shot.
Dugalich, Ledger-Walker, and Betts have been key for the Bruins, have all 12 of their points thus far. All of those points have come in the interior. Bruins attacking relentlessly the interior of the Hawkeyes.
Dugalich, a 77% free throw shooter. And she knocks it down, giving the Bruins a 13-7 lead as we approach the first media timeout of the game. Chit-Chat Wright looking to get going. Here's a drive to the right, and a pull-up from Stremlow knocks it down from the elbow.
Stremlow gets it going early for herself. Nice mid-range there from the guard.
And there is another entry pass into Betts. This one is going to be a foul against the Hawkeyes, and that is going to be hotly contested by their head coach, Jan Jensen, who is really unloading on the referees right now. But that is going to send us at exactly 5 minutes to our first media timeout of the game.
Saw Jan Jensen head right toward the ref after that call. She's in her 25th season with the Hawkeyes. We have two very tenured coaches today at Pauley Pavilion. Corey Close in her 15th season with the Bruins. But these two coaches have really made a name for themselves in the women's collegiate basketball world.
Absolutely. Jan Jensen paid her dues as an associate head coach with Iowa. She spent almost her entire career there, from just the start of this millennium all the way up to 2024 when she finally became the head coach. And last year, building off of Caitlin Clark's absence, she was able to take Iowa into the tournament and win a game there. And meanwhile, success has been a bit more easy to come by for Corey Close in recent years, Bruins obviously being a 1 seed in the tournament last year and making a deep run of their own.
Wasn't always easy for this Bruins team, though. Have made the tournament 3 straight times, but Close, although she's been a great coach in Westwood, didn't find that success immediately when she first took the head coaching job at UCLA. But this team, this veteran squad that she has brought in, has really bought into the culture that she has attempted to develop for the Bruins. And we've seen that with 3 pretty deep tournament runs. Obviously, last year, the Bruins making the Final Four for the first time in program history.
And that's in contrast, really, that veteran roster for the Bruins to what the Hawkeyes have here, which is a ton of freshman and sophomore contributors. Ava Hayden, the leading scorer, center, she's a sophomore. And then they've got Addie Deal making a homecoming today. She went to Mater Dei High School. She was a 5-star recruit. Now she's a freshman with Iowa and making her second career start in the absence of Taylor McCabe.
And even Chit Chat Wright, another sophomore underclassmen on this Iowa Hawkeyes roster. What they've been able to do in lieu of Caitlin Clark heading to the WNBA has been nothing short of a miracle. Very big surprise this season in women's college basketball has been Jan Jensen and her Iowa Hawkeyes.
It really has been an incredible run for them this season. Obviously, they took a loss to USC earlier this week. But before that, their conference performance had been spotless, and they really earned that number 8 ranking.
And currently tied for second in the Big Ten, right on the heels of the UCLA Bruins. Would be a huge win for Iowa if they're able to pull it off. But Bruins up 13-9 early. It'll be interesting to see what Jan Jensen draws up in the huddle to get the Hawkeyes going again.
Absolutely. And I'd say they'd love to get Chit Chat Wright going. She is one of the best three-point shooters in the nation, and she's already attempted a couple in this game. But we'll see if she can get some open looks in the absence of, aforementioned McCabe. She tore her ACL last week against Ohio State. One of the all-time best three-point shooters for this Hawkeyes program. How are they going to replace her? I'd say that Chit Chat Wright is a big part of that equation.
Already has drained a three-point jump shot today. Could there be many more to come? That's the question.
So here's the inbound for the Bruins. Get it out quick to Dugalich. Ledger Walker resets. Pass to Dugalich. Long 2. No good. Rebound Wright.
Chit Chat Wright, the right spot at the right time to get that board. Gets in transition well.
Now in the corner, Stremlow drives, and she's going to bring it back out. Wright being guarded closely by Ledger Walker here, well beyond the three-point line. Dumps it to Stolke in the post, and she's got the finish.
Great pick and roll type of maneuver there between Wright and her teammate.
And another entry pass to Betts, and she traveled. Hawkeyes had a bunch of hands in her face there. They might have gotten a hand on that ball as she was going up, but they end up ruling it a turnover for the Bruins.
And that has to be a huge adjustment, is limiting Betts in the paint. If that requires sending all of the Hawkeyes on the court toward the interior, that's what it's going to have to be to stop Betts.
And Iowa within 2 still. 4 minutes left to play in this first quarter. Stremlow tightly covered by Gianna Neepkins. Trying to find a pass, and she just bounces it out of bounds. No touch by UCLA, so the Bruins will get the ball.
Interesting switch there with Stremlow running the point. Thought Chit Chat Wright did a little bit of a better job running the role as the offensive orchestrator in the prior possession. But Stremlow with the turnover.
Kiki Rice getting the screen and pulls up a long 2 for the Bruins. They go up 15-11.
It's Kiki Rice's first bucket today. Gets to that mid-range spot, uncorks it, and drains it.
And Layla Hayes, that pass got into trouble quick, and it looks like it's going to go to the Bruins. Another turnover for the Hawkeyes.
That's the Hawkeyes' third turnover. It isn't even the end of the first quarter yet.
And so Rice looking to make something happen again. Gets a screen from Sienna Betts, steps back, and that's going to be short, but soaring in for the rebound, no good, was Gabriella Hawkeyes, but Rice gets another offensive board for the Bruins.
Second chance points.
And Angela Dugalich pulls up from the free throw line, that's short. So a third chance for UCLA, but still no score.
Credit the hustle of the Bruins on that last possession, just unable to convert.
And Addie Deal almost in and out on that floater.
Just her second game starting for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Oh, a beautiful spin in the post. It's Angela Dugalich putting the Bruins back up by 6.
Angela Dugalich carving out a nice performance for herself thus far. Able to get to that spin move in the paint, finishes off the backboard.
Right. Dumps it to Stremlow. Picks up her dribble in the paint. Now takes it back out and gets the ball back in the corner. Now back out to the wing. Three-pointer from the Hawkeyes is no good. Addie Deal's attempt.
Iowa has been getting open looks from 3, just haven't been able to capitalize.
Charlize Ledger-Walker off the pass from Rice. No good on that three-pointer. A rebound by the 6'5" Layla Hayes. Biggest player on the Hawkeyes, and you'd imagine that in her minutes here, she's going to be spending a lot of time with Lauren Betts. Here's Stolke, screening for Wright, who brings it back out. Now into the post. Hayes working against Lauren Betts, and she traveled.
And that was
Sienna Betts, I apologize.
Sienna Betts on that substitution. Iowa wanted to get a bit of a mismatch there. Obviously, Sienna Betts, sister of her older sister Lauren Betts, 6'4", but the 6'5" Layla Hayes attempted to take full advantage, just couldn't finish at the rim.
Neepkins on the perimeter, trying to find Rice. That pass is errant. Chit-Chat Wright is going to have a free lane to the basket, and she'll finish in transition, making it a 17-13 ball game, 1.5 minutes left in this first quarter.
And Chit-Chat Wright, reading the eyes of Rice, able to pick that off and use her speed to finish in transition.
Gabriella Hawkeyes looking to get something going here for the Bruins. Now Neepkins finds Betts in the post, who's going to pull up, no good.
Iowa's been giving Lauren Betts those open mid-range looks, has missed on 2 of those so far in this contest, has had substantial success in the paint, but not from outside it.
Addie Deal trying to make something happen now. Gives it off to Chit-Chat Wright, who's going to step back, try the 3, no good. Rebound, Neepkins.
Rice gave her some space on it. Let Wright uncork that, but wide off the back rim.
Into the post again to Betts. This pass is deflected. It's going to stay with UCLA. But the Hawkeyes doing a great job of making it really hard for 51 to get touches down there.
Hayden playing very physical in the paint, putting her body on Betts, reading the inlet pass, and getting a hand on it to put it out of bounds.
Off the inbound, Gabby Hawkeyes. Now Sienna Betts handing it off to Rice. Coming off Betts' screen is Neepkins. That's no good. She is going to be next factor shooting the three-pointer for the Bruins. Really their answer to Wright, one of the best three-point shooters in the country herself.
And Neepkins, not a person that you want to leave open beyond the arc. Shoots at a 47% clip from long range. That was quite a bit off. Rare miss for Neepkins. Went off the front right part of the rim and dribbled out of bounds.
And so likely the last possession of this first quarter for Iowa. Shot clock off here with about 10 seconds left. Chit-Chat Wright looking to pick up the screen from Hayden. Now steps back and uncorks a pass to the wing, and another pass that time was deflected. Looks like Journey Houston, who was just entered into the game for the first time. It's going to stick with the Hawkeyes with 2 seconds left.
And Journey Houston, great performance against USC earlier this week. 16 points with 8 rebounds while shooting 7 for 12 from the field. Can she be the spark that the Iowa Hawkeyes need as they trail 17-13 with 2 seconds remaining in this first quarter?
Well, evidently not right now, because Stolke just came back in the game for But 2 seconds left. Inbounds pass to Stolke. She's just going to have to chuck it up. Leaves it short. And so the Bruins end the first quarter up 17-13. But the Hawkeyes staying in it so far.
Both teams' collective shooting clip from beyond the arc, 1 for 7. And that has been one of the big stories of this game thus far. And the inability to hit on these long-range attempts, both teams have struggled with that. UCLA has yet to hit a three-point jump shot.
Yeah, absolutely. The teams combined 1 for 7. UCLA 0 for 2 on three-pointers in this game. And that was really something that haunted the Bruins in their last game against Illinois, just shooting 1 of 10 from beyond the arc and allowed the Fighting Illini to go 7 of 17.
And you would expect in your home stadium it would be a little bit easier to get into your groove from beyond the arc, just knowing how Pauley Pavilion functions, what it's like to shoot on the rim. You're practicing here almost every day, but the Bruins have struggled thus far, and those struggles seem to be carrying over from their last contest, as you said, Justin. Another thing I wanted to mention, Iowa, 5 turnovers in the first quarter alone, on pace for 20 turnovers. That is not a recipe for success when you're playing the number 2 team on the road.
And it's especially a problem when you're facing a team that's got the size of UCLA, that's not going to allow you to get second chance opportunities on your offensive possessions. The Bruins out-rebounding the Hawkeyes 8-3 so far, which really isn't much of a surprise. The Bruins tops in the Big Ten with a plus 15.7 rebounding margin on the season.
And also, with that, the Bruins allow their opponents, or limit their opponents to 27.6 rebounds per game. As you said, Justin, not a big surprise that UCLA winning the rebound battle early, and that is what has kept them, or allowed them to maintain this lead, has been their ability to generate these second chance opportunities and command the boards.
Absolutely, 3 offensive rebounds in the first quarter for the Bruins. That's as many as the Hawkeyes have total.
Hawkeyes gonna have to be even more physical than they have already been today to potentially upset the Bruins in their home stadium.
And something that's been very striking from the Bruins, they've been having both bet-sitters on for about half of the game so far, getting some huge size in these lineups to counter the presence of Layla Hayes, who doesn't usually play that much for the Hawkeyes, just averages 10 minutes a game for them. But she is their biggest player. She and Ava Hayden, the leading scorer, 63% from the field. Those 2 players are going to have to be the big threats on the inside for the Hawkeyes and hopefully corral at least some rebounds on the defensive glass.
And we've also seen Angela Dugulich, another 6'4" player for the Bruins, have a substantial impact thus far. She has a team-leading 7 points, using that height to her advantage against the smaller Hawkeyes. Dugulich often lines up as the 4 for the Bruins. Hawkeyes need to put someone smaller on her, given their height limitations, and Dugulich taking full advantage of it.
And as I mentioned before, the Bruins are just a very tall basketball team. Every single player in the lineup, aside from, I guess, Kiki Rice, is just frankly massive. There's just a bunch of really tall players on the Bruins. And that length, it goes beyond just the rebounding. It goes into getting in the passing lanes and forcing those turnovers for the Hawkeyes. It goes into being able to create space for three-point shots. That helps them be such an efficient three-point shooting team. And of course, it goes for those touches inside to Lauren Betts, biggest player of them all for the Bruins.
And just on the eye level, from up here, you can see how much taller these Bruins are. When you have a 6'7" Lauren Betts in the paint, it's pretty easy to see that. But in all the other positions, the Bruins just simply look taller and longer, especially on the perimeter, as you mentioned, Justin.
And so Chit Chat-Wright will bring it up for the Hawkeyes, down 4 heading into the second quarter. Into the high post, Hayden, jab steps, working on Lauren Betts. Turns around after taking a couple dribbles, tries a tough pass. There was really no window for that one.
Lauren Betts sealed that off perfectly. Naismith Defensive Player of the Year last season. Maintaining that reputation during the 2025 to 2026 campaign as well.
And much to the chagrin of the UCLA faithful, that ball will stay with the Hawkeyes. Here's Feuerbach. Trying to work on Ledger Walker. Now into the post, Hayden. Still covered by Lauren Betts. Now back out to Chit Chat-Wright. She pulls it from the side wooden court logo. Comes up short with the shot clock about to expire.
That was way beyond NBA range on that shot attempt. Never know where Wright can get going. Have to always guard her on the perimeter, but that is an air ball for the guard.
And that pass into Betts was deflected, but another foul called on the Hawkeyes. Just another example of the pressure that Lauren Betts puts on these defenses.
Hayden, needing to be physical in the paint, gets a little handsy with her in the interior and gets called for the foul.
Here's Kiki Rice looking once again to feed Betts. She comes up with a pass, but it's stolen. Active hands from Feuerbach. But she throws the ball into the corner, and it goes out of bounds.
Feuerbach, great defensive play, but not the best pass in transition. And the Hawkeyes unable to corral it, which could have been a substantial transition bucket for them.
And Iowa, really rushing to get it in transition. They do not want half-court sets against this very lengthy Bruins defense, as there is just a quick turnover by Ledger Walker. Tried to go right, just lost the handle. It goes out of bounds.
Back-to-back sloppy plays for these two Big Ten foes. Have to clean up their acts. One of them is going to take over.
And speaking of the pressure to not create turnovers, Kiki Rice bringing a bit of press here, but Chit-Chat Wright's able to bring it up. Hayden's got some space here, but she'll kick it back out to Wright again.
Kiki Rice has been all over Wright.
And here's a turnaround attempt at a long layup there from Stolke. It's no good, but she does pick up the foul.
Good position in the paint from Stolke, able to generate that foul, sealing off the paint defender, and is going to have 2 free throws here.
And getting a foul on Lauren Betts is, of course, huge. So Sienna Betts coming back in for Dugalich for the Bruins, as Stolke looks to cut this 4-point lead. She hits the first one.
Stolke just a 56% free throw shooter, but is one of the most effective scorers for the Hawkeyes with 14.1 a game.
Yeah, she misses the second, but she does shoot 54% from the field. Gabby Hawkeyes hands it off to Ledger Walker, and now back out to Rice. Looking to pick up the screen from Lauren Betts. She loses the handle, hands it off to Hawkeyes. Hawkeyes steps back, trying to create some space here. And now Ledger Walker gets the step on her defender and finishes. Blows right by Taylor Stremlow.
Ledger Walker again with an excellent drive from the perimeter. Gets her 6th points of today. All of them have been while she's slashing to the rim.
Chit-Chat Wright. Got a defender on her back, but comes up short with the floater. Long rebound out to Rice. She's got a 2-on-1 in transition, and she finishes over Stremlow.
Kiki Rice gets her 4th point today. Excellent work in transition. Kiki Rice gets ahead of the defenders looking to get back and finishes with her left hand at the rim.
Stremlow looking to make something happen here. She just picked up her dribble and threw a bit of a give-up pass, trying to find Chit-Chat Wright on the wing there. It's deflected by Hawkeyes, and it'll stay with Iowa.
This UCLA defense just tantalizing this Iowa Hawkeyes squad. 56.8 points per game allowed, which ranks 2nd in the Big Ten. The Bruins have an excellent defensive
Ava
squad.
Hayden finds the cutter. Feuerbach can't finish the layup, and affecting the shot once again, Gabriella Hawkeyes using that length.
Hayden, great vision, but Feuerbach said the length of the Bruins affecting that attempt is unable to convert. Another seemingly open look that the Hawkeyes miss out on.
Iowa without a field goal this quarter. As Ledger Walker goes left, tries to dump it off to Betts on the pick and roll. Pass is deflected, it'll go out of bounds and stay with UCLA.
Hawkeyes have their eyes on Lauren Betts. Was evident there. Trying to get the pick and roll going with Ledger Walker and Betts, but Hawkeyes read it extremely well, able to tip it out, and inbound pass coming up.
So the Bruins will give Kiki Rice a rest. Gianna Niepkins re-enters the game. Here's Ledger Walker from the elbow, knocks it down off the handoff from Betts.
Ledger Walker has been moving exceptionally today for the Bruins. Gets her 8th point with that mid-range look.
And that's going to be a timeout from Jensen. And the Hawkeyes now down 9 points, 7 minutes left to go in the second quarter. They have not been able to generate anything offensively.
you're the Hawkeyes, really have to have a good possession here. Don't want to allow the Bruins to swell their lead even more. We both know that if the Bruins get a lead, they can easily build upon it and start to blow out their opponents.
UCLA, on average, outscores their opponents by 30 points per game. That is simply a ridiculous margin. They, on average, just destroy whoever they're playing. And the Hawkeyes need to prevent this game from getting out of hand early if they want any chance to be there at the end, because this Bruins team just does not give up big runs.
And that type of dominance we only see among the top teams in women's basketball. It almost feels like there's only 3 or 4 teams that are truly competitors for the national championship. All of them likely to be the #1 seeds. Teams such as UConn have also been rolling their opponents. UCLA, South Carolina, to name a few. It almost feels inevitable that the Bruins are going to face either of those 2 teams come March.
And the Bruins' only loss so far this season came to Texas, which is another one of those teams in the #1 seed discussion. And yeah, I mean, they haven't really had much of a chance to drop one since then, it seems. Illinois, as we mentioned before, a bit of a scare, but still, a 13-point road win in conference play is nothing to scoff at.
Especially on the road, heading to Champaign, even for men's basketball, is a very hard place to play. Illinois fans come out to these games and give the road teams all they got. It's a very hard place to play, especially in the Big Ten. And what has really impressed me about this Bruins squad is that the Big Ten for women's basketball is one of the deepest conferences in the entire nation. And the Bruins are making easy work of their competition.
And what's even harder than going to Illinois for one game, how about going to California for 2 straight games? The Hawkeyes already reeling after 1 loss to USC on this road trip. And it's got to be tough dealing with the time change and maybe the difference in support, although the crowd, I'm seeing a lot of Hawkeye yellow there.
Lots of fans from the Big Ten come to Pauley Pavilion to watch these road contests. It's a nice little vacation coming out to sunny Southern California during the winter, when in Iowa it could reach frigid temperatures below freezing.
Yeah, no one really wants to be outside in most of the country right now, given the recent snowstorms, but thankfully here in Southern California we've been spared. It's a nice chilly 80 degrees outside today.
People always like coming to Pauley, UCLA, USC, see the sights, enjoy the weather. It's a great vacation for a lot of these fans.
And so the Bruins waiting a while to break the huddle here, coming out of this Iowa timeout. Hopefully Iowa will have drawn up something that can challenge this Bruins defense, because they have been shut down to just 1 point in this second quarter so far, as the Bruins have extended their lead to 23-14.
And this is surprising, especially because you think Iowa would be the team that would need to make the more adjustments heading out the timeout. UCLA taking a lot of time to deliberate their scheme. That's what great teams do. They take their time, make sure everything's set. Bruins are no exception.
Corey Close never lets up. Her attention to detail sticks throughout games. That's why you have times like when UCLA played Cal Poly earlier this season. They extended the lead out to 87, and they just kept pushing. This team will not relent if it gets a lead like this, and that's why Iowa needs to get a bucket here.
They play the full 40 minutes.
So Taylor Stremlow in the post. Stolke finishes and 1 over Sienna Betts, and that's exactly what Iowa needed.
Great play drawn up the Hawkeyes, heading to the paint, directly challenging the interior presence. Even with Betts there, showing a lot of fearlessness from the Hawkeyes to go back to where they've been beaten this game.
Finding the preseason All-Big Ten, Hannah Stolke, who misses her second free throw of the game, but does cut the deficit to 7.
1 for 3 from the line today for the Ford.
Lena Bilic getting her first minutes of the game. Finds Betts again. Working on Hayden. Spins, goes up with her left hand and finishes.
And that's just unfair. Lauren Betts bodying up Hayden in the paint. Spins around and finishes.
Taylor Stremlow on the drive, tries to kick it out. Now going right as Addie Deal dumps it off in the post. Stolke, she draws the foul from Betts.
Addie Deal with a great look at Stolke in the paint. And you said, Justin, Lauren Betts' second foul today. That could be an issue moving forward, especially if she picks up that third foul.
Yeah, Betts already at 6 points on 3 of 5 shooting for the Bruins. You cannot lose her on the offensive or defensive end. Lauren Betts will leave the game, and Angela Dugulich takes her place as that ball spins around the rim but finally goes in. Stolke moves to 2 of 4 from the line tonight. And she hits the second as well. Iowa back within 7.
Weren't the prettiest free throws, but they both fell for Stolke. Iowa cuts a lead to 7.
And that's an ill-advised pass into the post. Easy steal for Iowa. Going the other way, Addie Deal into the post. Stolke again, trying to take over this game.
Going back to Stolke with Lauren Betts out.
And that pass into Stolke is ripped away. Going the other way is Kiki Rice for the Bruins. Another Hawkeyes turnover. Ledger Walker dumps it, and it's stolen. Looking for Sienna Betts inside.
Offense just hasn't been as clean for the Bruins with Betts on the bench. We've seen a big difference ever since Betts went out.
Hayden, jumper from the elbow was no good. And there's a foul behind the play there.
It's like that's Dugulich that's down.
Yeah, Stolke may have hit her with an elbow there.
Will the refs look at this for a potential flagrant?
It seems that they are. Both teams going back to their benches as Dugulich remains down on the court. And now she rises to her feet. Will walk to the Bruins bench.
Looks like they are going to take a peek at this foul from Stolke. But Iowa looking to capitalize on Betts being in foul trouble in the second quarter. See them going back to Stolke again and again in the paint. Has been able to draw a lot of fouls in the interior. But one thing, UCLA has yet to hit a three-point jump shot today, and they're up by 7, just purely dominating the Hawkeyes from inside the perimeter.
And yeah, it's Lauren Betts, who just checked out of the game, but it's also Charlize Ledger-Walker, the point guard. She's 4 of 5 for 8 points, and most of those buckets have come off of layups.
Team leading 8 points for Ledger-Walker. She's just been playing exceptionally smart on the perimeter, noticing when defenders have a foot out and she can beat them driving, and has been able to find the open space in the mid-range game as well. Great performance so far from the guard.
And so as the replay review continues, some boos rain down from this UCLA crowd. Haven't gotten a great look from this on the arena feed yet, but still looking at it, you know that means there's something there.
Definitely something that could elicit a flagrant 1. I didn't see enough of it where I don't think it's going to be a flagrant 2 per se, but it could be 2 free throws and possession for the Bruins. They do call that flagrant 1.
And so 5:22 left in this second quarter. Iowa coming out of the timeout looking a bit better offensively. They've been able to feed Stolke. They've been able to cut this deficit back to 7. 25-18 is the score.
But you have to wonder if and when Lauren Betts comes back, will they be able to maintain that same offensive efficiency? Despite being in the paint, Lauren Betts affects the entire defensive performance of the Bruins. And it's just a completely different team when she's not on the court.
So officials still discussing, but they've broken away from the replay monitor here. And it looks like an announcement is coming.
One of them going to the UCLA bench, other going to the Iowa bench. Oh, flagrant foul on Hannah Stolke. And announcement wasn't clear here at Pauley Pavilion, but on the video board said Hannah Stolke committed a flagrant.
Yeah, the arena mic's a bit finicky in here, but I think the crowd gets the message. Kiki Rice will take the flagrant shots for the Bruins.
Heard some boos from the Iowa faithful after that call.
As Rice hits the first, no wonder she's taking free throws for the Bruins. She's a 90% free throw shooter on the season.
Very efficient shooter overall, also 49.1% from the field and 39% from deep. She can beat you wherever.
So Rice is able to knock down both. UCLA now up 27-18 as we approach 5 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Now on the inbound, Ledger Walker out to Rice. Looking to pick up the screen from Sienna Betts. Here's Dugalich now into the corner, going for the reverse layup, and hitting is Gabriela Hawkeyes.
Hawkeyes had a ton of space in the paint. Looked like the Hawkeyes were focusing on Sienna Betts in the interior. Hawkeyes takes full advantage and finishes on the reverse.
Chit-chat Wright been quiet lately in the second quarter as Mulaney trying to get a pass off there. Here's Feuerbach on a handoff from Hayden. Now back out to Mulaney for the three, no good. Rebound, it's going to be Journey Houston for Iowa. Finds an open three, and that's no good. Also from Feuerbach.
Mulaney had that first three-point attempt. She's an 8.3% shooter from there.
And Kiki Rice is able to go through that defense, cut right through it, and bring the Bruins lead 31-18 on that layup.
Rice with her third bucket today. Good nifty move from the guard.
Journey Houston picked up her dribble, now gets out of it to Hayden. Chit-chat Wright left open on the wing, and she knocks that down.
Much needed bucket for the Hawkeyes. Bruins were up 13. That brings the deficit down to 10. Second three-pointer today for Wright.
Rice crosses over, pulls up from the elbow, no good, but a foul on the rebound. Trying to box out Sienna Betts was Hayden. And to no avail, she picks up the foul for the Hawkeyes.
Betts making her interior presence known. Younger sister of Lauren, but she has a ton of room to grow on this Bruins roster. Just a freshman and their highly touted recruit ahead of the 2025 to 2026 season.
Now Hayden exits the game for Iowa. She's got 2 fouls. Sienna Betts on the elbow, hands off, tons of space for Dugalich. She'll pull the three and knocks it down.
Bruins respond to the right three with one of their own. Dugalich gets her 10th point today, leading scorer for the Bruins.
Right from the free throw line, and she traveled. Pass would have been stolen anyway. It might have been even worse if that were a live ball turnover.
That's Iowa's 8th turnover today. UCLA locking down on the defensive end.
Kiki Rice trying to make this even more than a 13-point game, which it already is, and it's already getting somewhat out of hand for Iowa. They need a stop.
And this is without Lauren Betts in the lineup either. UCLA finding their groove without their best player.
And another three pulled from Dugalich. It's no good. Rebound is able to go out to Stremlo.
Looked good off the hand of Dugalich, but hit the back rim and out.
Stremlo picks up the screen from Hayes. Going left, tries to pull from the elbow. She's stuffed.
Neepkins right on Stremlo, able to get her hand on it and stuffs it.
Into the post. Sienna Betts traveled before she put the ball on the ground.
And the Bruins also have 8 turnovers today. Have been struggling with some sloppy play in this game, just like the Hawkeyes have. Just UCLA taking a bit more advantage, or a lot more of an advantage in the interior.
And UCLA 15 of 27 from the field, and that's largely a product of the quality of their shots as Chit-chat Wright throws that pass away, but it's corralled and thrown back to Wright. She steps back for the three, no good. Neepkins rebound. Bruins have numbers in transition, 5-on-4. On the wing, Hawkeyes driving right. Feeds Dugalich, and it's a charge. Down there to pick it up is Chit Chat Wright, making up for the turnover on the other end.
Right. Great position as Hawkeyes is driving. Hawkeyes with just 2 points in this game so far. He's been one of the main contributors on this UCLA offense this season with 14.8 a game.
And Rice reaching in there, just harassing Chit Chat Wright way beyond the three-point line. You need to guard her out there, given her propensity for shooting from distance.
She's Iowa's rendition of Stephen Curry. And the Bruins are taking that responsibility seriously by guarding her way out beyond the arc.
Bruins once leading scorer, Ledger Walker, re-enters the game. As here's Wright trying to get some space off the screen. Nothing there. Throw it to the wing as there is a three-point attempt and knocks it down. It's Journey Houston.
Journey Houston getting active with her first bucket today.
Rice once again handling the ball. Now finds Ledger Walker. Betts on the elbow. Now Neepkins going right. Tries the runner. No good. Rebound goes off of Betts' hand out of bounds, and it'll go to Iowa.
Addie Deal checking back in for the Hawkeyes. Tegan Mullaney will sub out. Hawkeyes still just a 10-point deficit. A bucket could be huge for them.
Just a minute and some change before halftime now. Chit Chat Wright looking to pick up the screen from Houston. Trying to drive left on Rice. Gets the switch to Ledger Walker. Now Houston. And out to Stremlow. Trying to make something happen. Shot clock ticking down. Pulls up from the elbow. Knocks it down. And that, she needed to pull that, and she hit it.
Stremlow being patient with the ball in her hands. Gets to the open mid-range spot and sinks it.
Rice to the corner. Neepkins does not shoot it, though she had some space. She dumps it off to Sienna Betts and makes a beautiful pass and a beautiful layup to put the Bruins back up by 10.
Neepkins using that veteran experience to find the open lane, tosses it right to Betts for the finish. It's a fifth-year player for the Bruins.
Rice once again getting in Chit Chat Wright's face all the way back up near half court, but this time she reaches a bit too much. Wright draws the foul.
Rice has been using her length to get out in front of Wright. Wright very speedy, but just hasn't been able to get past Rice, who stands 7 inches taller than Wright. Just has been using that length throughout this contest to stifle the opposing guard.
And that being foul number 5 of the quarter for the Bruins means that Chit Chat Wright, who is an amazing free throw shooter and just shooter in general, is going to get 2 shots.
Almost guaranteed that she's going to hit both of these. 90.2% free throw shooter.
I see you trying to jinx it, but she does hit the first. Brings it to a 9-point deficit, 36-27 here, as the Bruins will have the ball with under 30 seconds left in the first half. Wright hits both.
Announcer's jinx didn't work on that one. Wright gets them both down.
So Ledger Walker will bring it up for UCLA. Lauren Betts still out of the game. She's missed about half of the second quarter after picking up her second foul. Sienna Betts, though, still in the game. She'll come up and set the screen. Ledger Walker going left. Steps back and now pulls it back in. Ball's nearly stripped, but she gets it out to Neepkins in the corner, who knocks down the 3 to beat the buzzer. The Bruins extend their lead to 11 points going into the second half.
What a shot from Neepkins. Gets the first 3-point bucket of the game for UCLA. Comes in buzzer beater fashion. The Bruins head into the half with a ton of momentum after that shot.
I was showing those active hands on defense again. Both teams had 9 turnovers in the first half. But this time, Ledger Walker was able to re-corral the ball after it got stolen from her and find the best shooter on the team, Gianna Neepkins, in the corner.
Heads up play by Feuerbach to strip Ledger Walker. But as you said, Justin, Ledger Walker took her time with it, found the open Neepkins in the corner, who elevates and drains the corner 3.
And so we're going to head into halftime now. We'll return After a break of about 12 minutes, we'll be bringing you the second half here in this top 10 Big Ten women's basketball matchup from Pauley Pavilion. UCLA at the half, 39-28 over Iowa. And welcome back. Pauley Pavilion, we're here for the second half of this showdown between UCLA and Iowa. Women's basketball, the number 8 team at the number 2 team in the country. UCLA leading at the half, 39-28 as we prepare to go back into this game. Grant, what have you noticed in this first half?
First and foremost, Iowa only 7 assists compared to 9 turnovers. That assist-to-turnover ratio has plagued their ability to really get back in this game. On the other hand, UCLA with 13 assists. They put up the most assists per game in the Big Ten with 22.4 per game, and they're on pace for that mark. But then again, the Bruins have also turned the ball over 9 times, which they have a 12.9 turnover per game ratio, and they're on pace for that as well. But sloppy play from both teams, it's just UCLA's been passing a bit better too.
Yeah, absolutely, and the Bruins, something important to note, they actually have the best assist-to-turnover ratio in the Big Ten themselves. So this number of turnovers is not normal for them, but they have still been able to get a lot of easy buckets. 17 of 31 from the field, and it's mostly because a lot of them have been layups.
Especially passing into the interior, the Bruins have been doing exceptionally well of getting the ball to their bigger players and allowing them to finish in the paint.
And as we kick off this second half, the biggest player for UCLA, Lauren Betts, is back in the game with her 2 fouls. As Kiki Rice tries the post move on Chit-Chat Wright and goes up for the push shot to bring the Bruins up to 41 points on the game.
That's a tough bucket. A little bit of bully ball there from Kiki Rice with Chit-Chat Wright on her.
And Ava Hayden from the elbow, no good. Offensive rebound, Skolky back out for the 3. Addie Deal leaves it short. Skolky again fighting for the rebound, but this time it's tipped out to Charlize Ledger-Walker.
Addie Deal held scoreless in her first start of her collegiate career against USC. Continues to struggle today.
A filthy spin in the post by Lauren Betts. And that brings UCLA's lead up to 15.
That's what Lauren Betts can do for your squad.
And Hayden in the post. There's the spinning finish for her as she brings Iowa up to 30 points on the game, 43-30 here, 1 minute into the second half. Hayden needs to get going for Iowa if they want to stay in this game.
I like that move from Hayden. Goes right back at Betts after she had that gnarly spin move in the paint.
Hayden took a little tumble in the post there, but she gets back up as she's trying to cover Lauren Betts, who's going to try the pass off the shot from Rice. There's a foul under the basket, also committed by Rice. Betts trying a couple outside jumpers in this game. That one came up short, and Rice, fighting for the rebound, picked up the foul.
Has gone 0 for 3 today on those mid-range jump shot attempts. Lauren Betts finding most of her production, laying it up in the paint. Hasn't found that success when she's attempted to stretch her shot a bit.
Well, someone who has found her shot, Chit-Chat Wright. She's made 2 threes already in this game as she dumps it off to Hayden. A beautiful pass and a nice left-handed finish for Ava Hayden to bring Iowa back within 11.
That's Wright's 4th assist today as well. Averages 4.1 per game.
Lauren Betts handing off to Rice, top of the key. And now Rice will take it left and scoop it in.
Kiki Rice starting to get going. I like that move from her.
And Wright, a beautiful bounce pass in transition, finds Hayden, who's already got 6 points in the second half.
They are feeding Hayden, and I think a lot of that has to do with Iowa playing a fast-paced style of ball to open the half. UCLA not getting set.
Betts, huge move in the post and finishes with her left hand. Just physically dominant down there.
It's like Hayden's in the ring. She's receiving haymakers, but she's also punching right back.
Chit-Chat Wright spinning off, tries the jumper from the elbow, but gets her own miss and is fouled on the perimeter. The ball will stay with Iowa.
Iowa playing frantically to open the third quarter. That is the type of hustle that you need to see when you are down on the road. And Iowa is answering the call, but they are still down 13.
And it's the type of basketball you need to play when you are dealing with a team as lengthy as UCLA on the defensive end. Hayden, another touch in the post, and she's fouled by Lauren Betts. That is going to be number 3 on Lauren Betts in this game.
And I think that has a lot to do with why Hayden has been so aggressive to open the frame. You want to up the foul count on Lauren Betts to get her out of the game. Iowa saw a lot of success when she wasn't playing in the later half of the second quarter. It's going to be interesting to see what Corey Close does with her star player.
As Hayden hits the first free throw, Kiki Rice exits pretty quickly into this half. Angela Dugalich, who was one of UCLA's most effective scorers thus far, and re-enters. As both free throws are good, and Iowa now down 47-36 with 7 minutes left in this third quarter.
Hayden has taken over this half for the Hawkeyes.
Ledger Walker, nice move with her right hand and finishes. 49-36 now.
Ledger Walker reaches double-digit points with that play. Then she gets the tip.
The tip pass nearly corralled by Lauren Betts, who stayed in the game after picking up her third foul, but it will stay with Iowa. Active hands on the defensive end for Ledger Walker after yet another easy layup for her. Inbound pass going out to Deal. As that pass is tipped.
Tons of tipped balls that the Bruins have caused in the third quarter. You said, Justin, again using that length to their advantage, especially on the perimeter.
Gabriella Hawkeyes now matched up with Chitchat Wright, a huge size advantage for Hawkeyes. As now, out another jumper from the elbow, and once again, it's Ava Hayden picking up the scoring slack for Iowa.
Hayden 10 points in the third quarter. Haven't even reached the halfway mark in it.
Now Betts trying to back Hayden down on the other end, spins and goes up and finishes. It is a scoring battle between the two bigs here in the second half.
Been an absolute interior battle between these two stars. That's what we expected, and that's what we've gotten today at Pauley.
And that ball's going to go the other way. So a turnover for Hayden there, as now Betts will take a seat. Sienna Betts, rather, will come on the floor for the Bruins. So replace one Betts sister for another.
Always have a Betts on the floor. Sienna Betts has also played well in the interior today. Just 2 points, but 1 for 1 from the field.
And now here's Betts, a touch in the post. And can't finish with her left hand. Great defense by Hayden.
Had good positioning on Hayden. Sienna Betts able to body her up in the paint, but rushed the shot attempt a bit.
As there is a jumper by Deal. She's been cold today, another miss. And now Dugalich taking the ball in transition. Going to try and post up on Skolky and finishes with her right hand.
Both teams playing very fast right now. Bruins with a 15-point lead. Don't necessarily have to go to that tempo, but they're trying to keep Iowa on its heels. Dugalich, heads up play, gets right to her spot and finishes.
Chitchat Wright off the screen from Skolky. Skolky's going to be called for an illegal screen. They are trying to get some space for a shooter.
Iowa's 11th turnover today. They average 15.1 per contest.
And Hayden, along with Deal, will take a break here for Iowa. Now the other big for the Hawkeyes, Layla Hayes, out on the court. She'll be assigned the matchup with Sienna Betts. Ledger Walker going left and right with the active hands, but Ledger Walker is able to recollect her dribble, but then just kind of knocks it out of bounds. It's going to be a turnover.
Ledger Walker has been amazing with recovering from stripped attempts so far today. We saw that pass that she had to Neepkins to end the first half, nearly corralled it again off the right tipped ball, but the ball dribbles out of bounds. Ledger Walker is unable to keep it in her grasp.
Chitchat Wright with the active hands once again, averages 1.6 steals a game to pace the Hawkeyes. She's got a touch here out on the perimeter, looking to pick up the screen from Skolky. She'll go left, try to find some space. Now back out for the three-point attempt, no good. Stremlow couldn't hit from the top of the key.
Chitchat Wright, use that pick and roll to try and get some open space on the perimeter, pass up the shot.
Now Sienna Betts in the post, working on Hayes, spins and finishes with her left hand and the foul. And UCLA extends the lead to 55-38 as we head to the first media timeout of the second half.
Sienna Betts looked awfully composed on that spin move, has struggled to corral the ball and put the ball up to the hoop in a composed way throughout this game, but learned from her past mistakes today with that bucket and is able to get the and one. She'll be at the line looking to get her 5th point today.
And Sienna Betts really only got 4 points on the night, only made 2 field goals, but she has been really trying to play that bully ball to emulate her sister in the post. And one thing that Corey Close said after that game with Illinois, she's really impressed consistently by how relentlessly confident Sienna Betts is and how she really does work on her physicality there in the post. She is never afraid to put up a shot when she feels she has one available.
She's definitely been playing fearless today. And one of the things with Betts is that we both know she's going to improve a lot and refine herself as a player on this Bruins roster. She has the athletic tool set to be almost as good as her sister, it seems like, obviously 3 inches shorter than her. But nevertheless, you can't really teach that aggressiveness and that confidence. And Sienna Betts has both of those attributes. She is not afraid to put up a shot when she needs to, and she's continuing to play physical in the paint. Those shots are going to start to fall as she further refines her footwork and her touch at the rim.
And Betts getting a lot more run than usual tonight. Already at 15 minutes. She averages 15 minutes a game. Obviously, there's some factor of Lauren Betts picking up so many fouls so early on in this game that's leading to that playing time, but it's also showing how confident Corey Close is in her, and also the need to stop those bigs of Iowa, especially Ava Hayden, who's just been absolutely on fire in the second half.
This UCLA team is awfully deep. More than 5 players that average 15 or more points per game. 7 players, my apologies, on this team that average a ton of minutes and have a substantial role. Corey Close has a very deep bench, and that is what you need if you are going to have a late season run, especially in March. That's when fatigue sets in, and you have to have a depth that can rise to the occasion. Angela
Dugalich is another coming off the bench, along with Betts. And you've had a lot of starters rotating out. Kiki Rice comes out in the second half after only playing 3 minutes. Charlize Ledger-Walker, Gianna Neepkins, both on and off the floor as well.
And with the Bruins last season, when Lauren Betts got in foul trouble, it just seemed the UCLA Bruins did not have an answer for that predicament. But this year, when you can rely on someone like her sister, Sienna Betts, it eases the load off Corey Close when it comes to replacing her superstar.
And it's really been such a collaborative effort scoring tonight for the Bruins. Obviously, Betts has made her presence known, but Kiki Rice, Charlize Ledger-Walker, Angela Dugalich, all in double digits thus far, and all have shot 5 or 8 or 5 of 7, respectively. So a very efficient night for the Bruins' top scorers in this game.
UCLA shooting 61% as a team. They already lead the Big Ten in field goal percentage with a 51.6% clip, nearly 10 full percentage points above that today against the Hawkeyes.
And so now Sienna Betts will step to the line, looking to complete the 3-point play for UCLA and extend their lead to 56-38 with just over 4 minutes left in this third quarter.
Iowa is going to have to go on a run quickly, or else this game will become messy for the road squad.
Betts just a 50% free throw shooter coming into today, but she knocks that one down. So
first free throw attempt of the day, too.
Right, going left, trying to get some space here with Rice hot on her tail. Now here's a entry pass to Hayes, who will try an ill-advised feed there, but gets back out to Hayes. And now Stremlo picks up the screen, trying to go left, and gets a pass off now open on the wing. Short was Fierbach, and she is 0 for on 3-pointers tonight. Now in the post, Dugalich using that pivot foot and getting some space for the finish. brings the Bruins lead to 20 points, their largest of the night.
Dugulich is 14 points today, most on the Bruins squad. He's really taken over off the bench for Corey Close and her team.
And there Sienna Betts picks up a foul off the ball, but on comes her sister yet again. Going to replace Neepkins. And also Lena Bilic, once again making an appearance for UCLA. Another one of those bench players. As Lauren Betts gets her hand on that inbounds pass. And it's going to be off of Iowa. It's going to be a turnover, it looks like. Players look kind of confused, but yeah, it's going to be UCLA basketball.
Iowa's 12th turnover with that. You mentioned Bilic. Zagreb, Croatia, local, coming all the way overseas to play in Westwood. She's just a freshman as well.
Hawkeyes gets the ball stripped there from her, but she's able to corral it. Now an entry pass to Betts, trying to, back down height, and she spins away from her and finishes with the fadeaway. Another beautiful post move from Lauren Betts.
Hayden just looked confused on that play. Fed Lauren Betts twice. She took advantage the second time, rose up and drained it.
And the mid-range is good for Journey Houston. Iowa somewhat keeping pace, down 20 now.
UCLA has quieted the Iowa faithful at Pauley.
And an offensive foul on Betts. That's number 4 on Lauren Betts. And once again, that physicality that Hayden is showing, and even if she's getting beaten a lot, just being in Betts' face is causing her to pick up these fouls. So that's number 4 on Lauren Betts.
Hayden has elicited a lot of fouls out of Betts. She's continuing to play aggressive, and it is paying dividends for the Hawkeyes. This could be exactly what they need if they hope to get back in this contest. UCLA going with some full court pressure here to keep Iowa on its heels.
Gabriella Hawkeyes trying to prevent any space for Taylor Stremlow here as she brings it up. Now Stolke on the perimeter. This is not really where you want to get her touches. She'll try to go left now, crosses over and tries to throw to the corner. It is behind Mulaney, and that'll be yet another Iowa turnover.
Arid passes today from the Hawkeyes. They are one of the best passing teams in the Big Ten, 21.2 assists per game, but they've struggled to showcase that chemistry on the offensive end today.
Lauren Betts finds Hawkeyes in the corner. Now entry pass, to Dugulich, who makes a beautiful space-getting move off of Stolke and finishes with the reverse.
Pure paint domination for the Bruins. Dugulich puts her shoulder into Stolke, spins around, and finishes with the reverse to put the Bruins up 22.
And Iowa takes another timeout. That'll leave them with 2 left for the game and leave them down 22 points with just about 2 minutes left to go in this third quarter. Looking pretty bleak for the number 8 team in the nation and looking like they may end up with 2 losses in a row.
Unsuccessful West Coast trip. As you were saying earlier today, Justin, it's hard to come out with the time difference and everything all the way across the country to the West Coast and vice versa for West Coast teams. But no men's basketball coach Mick Cronin has complained a lot about the schedule and the UCLA Bruins having to travel all the way out to the East Coast. It's the same thing for those Midwestern and East Coast teams that have to travel out to the West Coast as well.
Well, absolutely, and that may have plagued UCLA on their visit to Illinois just earlier this week. But now back in the safe confines of Pauley Pavilion, they've found things a lot easier in this game. Iowa, really their biggest challenge since that early season loss to Texas, what so far has been the only loss of the season for the Bruins, but so far they've handled it easily.
They have quieted the doubters at Pauley Pavilion today. A lot of people saying that the Texas loss is an indicator of the Bruins' entire season because they haven't played the best competition. Bruins putting that speculation to rest so far against the Hawkeyes at Pauley Pavilion.
And the last somewhat great team they played at Pauley Pavilion, or at least the last pretty highly ranked team was Maryland. A couple weeks ago at the time, they were ranked number 12 in the country. UCLA just demolished them, 87-57. And that's just kind of been the way it's been for UCLA most of the season. Games like the last one against Illinois are just a real abnormality. They are super efficient on offense. They don't turn the ball over very often. They make their layups. They make three-pointers. They do everything well on the offensive end, and of course, active hands and length on the defensive end is what gives them such a great advantage.
One of the best defenses in the Big Ten to boot. And travel often just amplifies the already large home field or home court advantages that we see in the Big Ten. Crowds at all these schools show out at all these games, and that can really rattle teams that aren't used to playing in those type of environments. But UCLA, a battle-tested team, went all the way to the Final Four last season, made the tournament in the Sweet 16 the 2 seasons prior to last season. This team knows how to play those tough environments. And although they struggled against Illinois, they pulled it out. But again, as you said, Justin, safe confines of Pauley Pavilion has allowed the Bruins to dominate the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, a lot of veteran presences on this team. Dugalich and Neepkins and Ledger Walker, all graduate transfers. Lauren Betts, a senior. These players have been through this before, and they know how to bring it when crunch time hits, even though that hasn't really happened too often for the Bruins this season.
And just being around this Bruins squad, it honestly feels like this may be their year. They are a hungry bunch, especially with the way things ended last season with that demoralizing loss to UConn in the Final Four. That could end up being the national championship matchup.
Absolutely. As Stremlo gets the inbound to Mulaney, who pops the three, no good. Rebound back out to Mulaney. And she gets the feed inside, but she's stuffed. But they're going to call a foul on the play.
Village picks up her first foul today.
She hasn't gotten too much run in this game, but yet another key reserve for UCLA, giving them 3.6 points per game and 1.7 rebounds per game this season.
One of 3 underclassmen on this Bruins roster, and she could be a considerable part of the Bruins' future, along with Betts and even Amanda Muse, who's a redshirt sophomore.
So Mulaney missed the first, but hits the second. Iowa down 21 points, and it's looking pretty bleak for them. And Gabriella Hawkeyes coming off the screen can't hit the three-pointer. That's been really the lone area of struggle for the Bruins in this game. They've only hit 2 three-pointers all game.
And they've only attempted 6. They know that today has not been their shooting day, but have just been able to go back to the interior time and time and again.
Hayden trying to work on Betts to no avail. In transition after the errant pass by Hayden. It's going to go inside. A spin move by Hawkeyes. Can't finish. And that is a push by Betts, and she has fouled out of the game in the third quarter.
Bit of a puzzling move by Corey Close to not sub out Lauren Betts after she committed her 4th foul. She had subbed her out in the second quarter when she notched her 2nd foul. Bit of a puzzling move. Why would she not put Betts back in the 4th, but she's not going to have it for the rest of the game.
Indeed, a confusing move. I was hesitant in even calling that was Lauren Betts. I could hardly believe she was on the floor.
Corey Close may be thinking that this game is already over and using her reserves for the rest of the game. That may be the reason why she didn't go to Betts, but in the Big Ten, you never know. I didn't like that move whatsoever.
I think it was just about UCLA trying to keep the pressure on as Hayden hits the first free throw and makes the second. Iowa now within 19 and UCLA's best player off the floor.
It's going to be Iowa's time to really cut into this lead.
Neepkins pulls it from deep, no good. Rebound Hayden. 50 seconds left in this third quarter. Iowa could go on a run here maybe without Lauren Betts on the floor. Hayden tries the entry pass to Skolke. That's batted away, but the ball ends up back in Iowa's hands. Now Stremlo trying to make something happen with Dugalich in coverage. Dugalich getting really reachy there, but ends up with the pass to Hayden, who knocks yet Another elbow jumper down for Iowa and closes the deficit now to 17.
Hayden has been hot in this second half, but has been just held to just 3 rebounds, showcasing the interior grit from the Bruins.
So shot clock turned off now for UCLA. Hawkeyes trying to make a move. Dumps to Neepkins, who pulls up. No good on that mid-range. Skolky rebounds, and that will end the third quarter. And the Hawkeyes with a little bit of a spurt at the end of that one, capturing that momentum from Lauren Betts, fouling out of the game, being in the game in the third quarter with 4 fouls. A very interesting decision for UCLA.
They were down by 22, but after that Lauren Betts foul, Iowa Hawkeyes, as you said, Justin, go on a 5-0 run to end the third quarter. UCLA still has a cushion to work with, but that could evaporate very quickly if things start to fall the Hawkeyes' way.
And especially if the Hawkeyes start to hit their three-pointers. They've only taken 15 in this game, and they've made just 3. If that area of their game can turn around, if Chit Chat Wright can get going, if Mulaney can get going, the Hawkeyes could really stand to make a run here.
Iowa shoots 36.6% from beyond the arc, shooting just 20% today, but we both know that could change quickly. This team has a lot of quality shooters on it. You mentioned Chit Chat Wright, along with players like Addie Deal, who could get going, 34.8% from deep, and even Taylor Streblow, who has struggled to get her shot going, has attempted just 1 3-point jump shot today and missed it. But Streblow and Wright are going to have to be huge here in the backcourt. Iowa has struggled to get things going in the paint. They're going to have to rely on that perimeter presence if they're going to have any shot.
It's simply extremely tough against such a lengthy UCLA team, and even without Lauren Betts on the court, their ability to get into passing lanes and put pressure from way beyond the arc, it just makes it hard for Iowa to do anything offensively.
Exactly, and you have to wonder, are these shots going to start falling? I also think the length that the Bruins have on the perimeter has really stifled this Iowa backcourt. That has been a huge reason why they've struggled to drain shots at a consistent clip today. Bruins are just going to have to really focus on locking down that perimeter, which they have done so all day, and they should be able to come out of Pauley Pavilion with a win.
And of course, Ava Hayden had an absolutely massive third quarter, scoring double digits just in that time frame. Really got herself going after kind of a quiet start. She's been Iowa's most efficient scorer and their leading scorer. Shoots 63% from the field, top 10 in the nation. If she can keep those elbow jumpers going, the threat of that, and maybe get some buckets on Sienna Betts in the post, Iowa can really be able to cut this deficit and maybe, just maybe, go on a run furious enough to have a chance to win this one down 17 going into the fourth.
It's always hard to mount a run in an unfamiliar arena, but don't put it past these Hawkeyes. They've been counted out before. Even to start the season, they were counted out. It would be foolish to do so yet again. This team can get hot quickly and make you pay the price.
And I can tell you Shirley didn't count them out, Corey Close, and that's why I suspect that she left Lauren Betts on at the end of that third quarter. She wants the Bruins to win by as much as possible. She wants no chance of a comeback, but she may have been a bit overzealous in keeping Betts, trusting that she wouldn't pick up that 5th foul, which she did almost immediately when she came back onto the court. So now UCLA going to hang without the absolute beast in the post, Lauren Betts. How is her sister going to respond? How is the rest of the team going to respond? That is the question as we head into the fourth quarter of this top 10 matchup.
Pay attention to how Sienna Betts handles this responsibility in the fourth quarter. I would expect Iowa to try and maybe attack Betts on the interior, but first and foremost, Chit Chat Wright, Taylor Streblow gonna have to get going from deep.
So Wright trying to use the screen from Hayden. Just nothing much there with Ledger Walker's length on the perimeter. She gets it back again, and still not much. There's a quick screen from Hayden, but she was moving for it. It's an illegal screen, yet another Iowa turnover.
And that's Hayden's 4th foul today. That would be a detrimental loss for the Hawkeyes, who are attempting to muster a run in the 4th.
It would be pretty much impossible to do without her. As Ledger Walker now finds Hawkeyes the top of the key. Got right on her, a size mismatch here. Now she's gonna go right and finish.
Journey Houston, tight coverage on Hawkeyes, but able to use her body to get to the lane and finish.
Now right, once again trying to get something going. Picks up the screen, now back out to the wing. And another reset from Iowa. They're gonna need some quick buckets here. As here's an entry pass to Hayden and an absolutely beautiful entry pass from Taylor Stremlow to set up the bucket.
Stremlow is not going to get the points for that, obviously, but she is the main reason why Hayden was able to finish at the rim. With Dugulich gets called for the foul, and one coming up for Hayden. 16 points leading the Hawkeyes.
And 4 of 4 at the line so far. Make that 5 for 5.
She's just a 56% free throw shooter, but she has certainly changed that reputation today.
And so Sienna Betts will leave the game. Re-entering for the Bruins is Angela Dugulich.
And Hayden, very familiar with the West Coast. She's from Oregon originally, heading back to UCLA, familiar ground for the Iowa Center.
Dugulich in the post, immediately fouled by Journey Houston. As Dugulich, a guard in name for the Bruins, but really a guard in name only so far in this game. She's been getting a ton of touches down low, playing really physical. She's racked up 16 points in this one.
Neepkins gets called for the travel.
Right off the inbound. Just a bit of happy feet there for Gianna Neepkins, who really hasn't gotten going with a three-point shot in this one. Just 1 for 3 from beyond the arc and 1 of 5 in total from the field.
She has one of the 2 Bruin three-point conversions today. Bruins just simply haven't been productive from beyond the arc, or even tried to get going from beyond the arc.
Stolke working on Dugulich, and that shot was tipped and rustled for one by the Bruins. It was Amanda Muse, actually, who just checked into the game for the first time, who got a hand on that shot. Now Kiki Rice stepping back, picking up the screen from Muse, crosses over, now tries to kick it back out to Dugulich. Hawkeyes behind the back and goes up with the right hand, picks up the foul. A nice drive by Hawkeyes, really showing off the ball handling skills there.
I would give credit to them with that defensive possession. They really stayed in front of the on-ball movement, and the guards on the perimeter were giving them much space. Stremlow does get called for the foul, but she was right on Hawkeyes, sealing off her lane. Hawkeyes, a slasher. She's able to draw the foul.
And she hits the first free throw, bringing the Bruins lead 65-48 with 8 minutes here in the fourth quarter left to go. And that makes 2, 66-48 Bruins. Chit Chat right. Can she get going? The three-point flamethrower for Iowa. Feuerbach on the perimeter, now back to right. Pump fakes, and now back on the wing, Stremlow. Houston trying to drive on Muse. Now kicks it back out. Feuerbach with Hawkeyes on her, picks up the foul. And they're going to give her 2 shots there.
UCLA just had everyone covered there. But Gabriella Hawkeyes gets called for the foul. Hawkeyes has had the most productive offensive night, just 6 points on only 6 shot attempts.
So actually the refs are not going to award free throws there. It's going to be an inbound pass as Stolke seals off Dugulich on the inside and gets the finish.
Throughout today's contest, Stolke has just gotten great position in the paint.
Ledger Walker gets it in the corner and position, fails on the reverse layup though. And now Iowa within 16.
Rare miss at the rim for Ledger Walker on that drive.
Houston in the post on Dugulich. Spins and it's stripped, but back out to Stremlow misses the three-pointer, but Stolke corrals it. Back out to Stremlo, who finally hits a three. Iowa finally on the board with a three-pointer, their first of this half.
Stremlo, 40.7% three-point shooter this season. Can definitely get it going from deep, and that is a much-needed bucket for the Hawkeyes. Can they build on this good timeout from close to quell the run? They're going to need to respond here without their best player.
Yep, a much-needed timeout for UCLA as they have faltered significantly since Betts left the game. They had their largest lead at the end of that third quarter, or near the end of that third quarter. They were up 22 points. It's been cut to just 13 with 7 minutes left in the game.
And that call that Corey Close had to keep Betts in that game may come back to bite them if the Hawkeyes continue to roll in the fourth quarter.
Well, making three-pointers would really help. Stremlo just knocked down her first of the game, and that was huge in itself. But really, this Hawkeyes team has struggled in this game, especially in reproducing the three-point gap left by Taylor McCabe. Tore her ACL to end her career, one of the all-time best three-point shooters in Iowa Hawkeyes history. She's missed this West Coast swing. She'll miss the rest of the season. So it's up to shooters like Stremlo, it's up to Chit-Chat Wright to take on a bigger burden, and in these close games, they have got to be taking every shot they can.
And McCabe, one of the only upperclassmen on this Iowa Hawkeyes roster, having her presence in a game like this, where you have a ton of underclassmen players trying to win a game on the road, could be instrumental to orchestrating a comeback. Her presence will most certainly be felt as we head to the later frame of the fourth quarter.
So, Iowa, down 13, 7 minutes left. They're on a bit of a run here. They've cut the lead by 9 in just the last few minutes. So they keep this pace up. They've got a real shot. How does UCLA adjust defensively here?
You just have to lock down on the perimeter, and also that one Stremlo three-pointer was due to 2 second chance opportunities. The UCLA Bruins, without Betts, need to be a lot better at rebounding if they're going to close this game out. Rebounding is now tied at 22 between the Hawkeyes and the Bruins. That is simply inexcusable for a team that has a substantial height advantage on the Hawkeyes.
Bruins, once again, they have the #1 rebounding margin in the Big Ten, plus 15.7 a game. They usually dominate on the boards, but Iowa, remember, they're no slouches either. They average plus 10.6 on their rebounding margin. It's really been Hayden and Stolke in the second half fighting on the boards. Even if the numbers don't show it, it's all about those tipped rebounds, giving Iowa a chance to come up with a loose ball, and that's exactly what happened to set up that Stremlo three to send us into this timeout.
Stolke has really impressed me. She's a game-high 8 rebounds, and she's just been simply crushing the boards and hustling on every rebounding opportunity. I've been really impressed with her play, and Hayden has also upped the ante in the second half for the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, Stolke in particular, she averages 8.6 rebounds per game, and Hayden 7.7. Stolke leads the team, but they've really both been instrumental with their physicality in the paint today. And so with Hayden once again out of the game, she's on 4 fouls now. It's going to be up to Stolke, who's been getting a ton of touches. Iowa's really fed her during a lot of their most successful offensive stretches of this game. We'll see if she can keep it going, if they can keep getting her touches, and if they can keep setting up some open threes.
Got to keep going back to what has been working. I expect Jan Jensen and her squad to do just that. And this will be very interesting to see as we wind down here at Pauley Pavilion if Iowa can complete this comeback.
Rice handling the inbound, gets into Muse. Now Rice steps back for the three and knocks it down. Where did that come from?
Kiki Rice quells the momentum for Iowa out of the timeout. Great play call by Corey Close to get Kiki Rice out in the corner, and she drains it.
And there is a steal. Ledger Walker now to Rice, and then down low for the finish, Neepkins. UCLA forces a quick turnover and a bucket in transition.
5-0 run out of the timeout. Bruins gets an 18-point lead.
And there's an errant pass from Wright, trying to feed Stolke yet again. And Iowa has just collapsed coming out of this timeout, and they had no margin for error. Now the gap is 18 points with just 6 minutes left.
And this is what a great team does. When you start to feel the momentum shifting toward your opponent, you draw something up and respond. The Bruins have certainly done just that.
So in the post, stepping back is Hawkeyes. Can't quite hit that. And out of bounds, but on the fight for the rebound, it's going to stick with the Bruins.
Another inbound pass coming up for Rice. Saw a great inbound play during the last two possessions.
And finds Neepkins cutting into the corner, wide open for three, and the Bruins now up 21. Neepkins got her second three-pointer of the night.
Just as we were talking about the three-point struggles for the Bruins, they get two clutch ones.
But Stolke answers. A piece of nice passing from Iowa there. Houston with the assist and the and one bucket for Hannah Stolke, who's now up to 13 points on the night.
Stolke still making her presence known. But the thing with these Bruins, these two inbound pass plays that they called were just drawn up perfectly. Credit to Corey Close for getting her team ready out of that timeout.
And no good on the free throw. UCLA looking to push the pace a bit here, but now Gabriella Hawkeyes will settle it. And now back out to the perimeter, and they're going to call a three in the key on Betts, who we mistakenly thought had fouled out of the game. Thanks, Stat Broadcast, for acting up a bit for us, but Betts back in the game. At this point, though, the Bruins seem to have it salted away.
Yes, that would have been a puzzling move from Corey Close if she did keep Betts in the game with just 4 fouls, but it ended up that she just had 3. Makes sense why she was taken out of the game and put back in the later stage of the fourth quarter.
And a bit of a
wow
crazy transition make there for Iowa. They're able to get it inside to Hayden somehow after some tippage.
Chit Chat Rice taps the ball, and then another touch pass to allow Iowa to finish right at the rim.
And a wide open look off the Rice pass. It is Angela Dugalich who knocks down the three, and the Bruins all of a sudden have come alive from beyond the arc in these last couple minutes.
3 3-point field goals in the less than 2 minutes.
And feeling the need to respond is Chit Chat Wright, who tried to pull one from the side logo there, but ended up with an air ball.
Bruins are now at 5 for 10 shooting from beyond the arc. Much different from what we were discussing earlier, Justin. Certainly have gotten active from long range.
Well, without Betts in the game, even though she now is back in, they really started looking for those three-pointers a bit more instead of trying to feed the post, and we've seen the results of that. Now with Lauren Betts hanging around in the post, trying to set up a pass for her, but instead Kiki Rice is going to drive left and step back. Now gets the ball back after a pass to Dugalich, tries to go up, and she's fouled. Chit Chat Wright picks it up.
Using her body to get in front of Chit Chat Rice, draws the foul. Chit Chat Wright could only really put her hand up to stop Kiki Rice from rising up for an easy mid-range deuce, but she puts her at the line.
Rice knocks down the first. She's a perfect 3 of 3 at the free throw line today.
And 6 for 9 from the field. Kiki Rice showcasing that efficiency yet again against the Hawkeyes.
Yep, good for 16 points on the day. And that second free throw extends the Bruins' lead to 79-57, 4.5 minutes to go. This one, well, the fat lady is all but sung.
Seems like the Bruins are going to walk out of here with their 11th conference win. A stranglehold on the first place spot in the Big Ten.
But don't tell that to Iowa. Addie Deal with a very good move on Lauren Betts. Gets her on her back and is able to finish over her. Maybe Betts playing a bit more cautiously now with the 4 fouls. As Neepkins drives right. Now we'll try to turn around and fade, and a very nice jumper just from outside the paint from Gianna Neepkins.
Neepkins gets to double digits with that mid-range pull-up.
And another quick feed to Hayden, but she can't finish this time. Betts showing her size there on the inside. She's going to get a touch at the top of the key here and hand it off to Neepkins. Set her a screen. Neepkins trying to go left. Crowded spacing in there, but she gets the pass down to Betts, who was able to finish over Hayden once again.
Neepkins splits the defenders on that dribble. Betts rolls to the paint. Great dish from Neepkins to Betts, who finishes at the rim. Made it look easy.
And Jen Jensen, perhaps noticing how over this game looks, is going to bring her team in for a huddle here with another timeout as UCLA now leads 83-59. And they have really asserted their dominance in these last few minutes.
Seems the gas has honestly run out. The Iowa Hawkeyes have run out of gas here at Pauley Pavilion. That's what happens when you have to play so physical against a team like UCLA, who has the clear height advantage on you. You have to be physical, and that depletes a lot of energy when you're hustling every play, attempting to body up these front court pieces for the Bruins. I think that's what may have caused Iowa to exhaust all their resources earlier in the contest.
And where we've seen that disparity in the energy expended play out really is in that turnover battle. It was even at 9 in the first half. Now Iowa up to 18 for the game, whereas UCLA has just committed 4 turnovers in the second half. That's been a big part of how the Bruins have been able to jump out to this big lead. Now, Chit-Chat right, finding Houston, who is way short on that 3. Rebound Neepkins trying to push it in transition. And Dugalich tried to go up there. Chit-Chat right playing way above her height to swat that shot.
And you're also seeing that fatigue on some of these long-range attempts from the Hawkeyes. Just haven't gotten their legs under them. Have had a couple air balls on their recent attempts.
Dugalich pumps. Now gets the screen from Sienna Betts. Now takes the 3, and that is another 3 ball for Angela Dugalich, up to 22 points on the night.
It's her third 3-point make, 3 for 4 today against the Hawkeyes. She has been killing them from deep.
And so they call a foul on the Bruins there on the drive from the Hawkeyes. It'll be an inbounds pass for Iowa. And the crowd rises to their feet because Angela Dugalich is exiting this game. Amanda Muse coming back on. What a day for number 32 for the Bruins.
Dugalich, team leading 22 points. She was beating the Hawkeyes on all parts of the court, from deep, from the paint, and even the mid-range.
And so Addie Deal up to 3 points with that first free throw to cut the lead to 86-60. 3 minutes to go in this game. She misses the second, and Sienna Betts off the tip gets the rebound. So Kiki Rice looking to burn some clock here as the Bruins just put it into neutral, up 26 points with 2.5 minutes left. Sienna Betts will try the step-back jumper. That'll come up short, but Kiki Rice, look who's on the glass. She tries the putback layup. It's no good. Now, Iowa's going to have a transition opportunity. On the wing, it's Stremlo knocking down her second 3 of the half.
Stremlo in transition. Good flow for the Hawkeyes. Simply lets it go and drains the 3-point shot. But the Bruins still playing tenaciously despite being up by more than 20 points.
And that's going to be an offensive foul. Going to be picked up by Muse. Now 2 minutes left. Bruins up 23. So we're about ready to do a post-mortem on this game. UCLA, they've been really D'ing up the Hawkeyes over the last few minutes. They've stepped up that intensity. And now as Chit-Chat Wright tries to get something going, we notice that she has attempted just a single 3-pointer in this entire second half, as there's another steal for UCLA, Kiki Rice, with the active hands. Gonna drive left and spin in a really nice move, but she leaves the layup short and commits the foul on the rebound.
And Chichat Wright just hasn't seemed confident in her three-point shooting ability against UCLA. Kiki Rice has been on her all night, using that extended length on Wright to keep her flustered beyond the arc. That is what has forced her to pass the ball out and not attempt as many three-point jump shots as she would like.
So that's going to do it for Kiki Rice on the day. 17 points for her on 6 of 11 shooting. As in the bonus now is Iowa, and Journey Houston is able to knock down the first free throw.
And on that last play, we saw Kiki Rice crash to the ground, still playing extremely hard despite the Bruins' hefty lead.
And that's the Corey Close mindset, as the Bruins lead by 21 points, but you'd think it's a tie game with the way they're playing right now. They have slowed down the pace of possessions a little bit as Gianna Neepkins drives in a little bit of an kick. But Ledger Walker finds a wide open shooter in the corner that's no good.
Bilic with a little bit too much arc on that. She's been sitting on the bench throughout the entire game, pretty well rested. Decided to let that one go.
Yeah, Bilic just a 20% three-point shooter, but what the heck? There's a minute and a half left in this game. So Chit-Chat Wright, see if she can get anything off here. Being covered once again by Ledger Walker. Now Hayes sets the screen, and that ball's fumbled by Deal. Now back out, driving left is Houston, who leaves that one short. And that is going to be a rebound for the Bruins. And now under a minute to go. The crowd rises to their feet as UCLA leads 86-65, and they look to run out the last seconds on this clock.
UCLA had their lead cut to 13, but they have just simply responded.
As there's a nice finish by Sienna Betts to bring the Bruins total to 88 on the day. Nice kick out to Addie Deal, who comes up short. Not a great homecoming for her. The Irvine native had just 3 points on the game, the highly touted 5-star recruit. As UCLA is going to put this one away, dribble it out, and they come up with a huge home win over the number 8 ranked Iowa Hawkeyes, 88-65. Grant, how were the Bruins able to be so dominant down the stretch in this one?
First and foremost, it has to be the three-point shooting that got them through this fourth quarter when Iowa was getting back into this contest. Obviously, they still have that 13-point lead, but they drained 4 3-pointers in the last 6 minutes of this game. That is what put them over the edge. That was the missing piece that they needed from earlier in this game. When they couldn't go to the interior, when Betts was out, they went to the perimeter, and it paid dividends.
Well, that's going to do it for us from Pauley Pavilion. It's UCLA radio broadcast. We thank you for watching. I apologize for not introducing myself at the beginning. I'm a bit new at this. I forgot to do it. But I'm Justin Attlesey, play-by-play. Grant Walters on color commentary. We say good afternoon to you. Have a great rest of your weekend. And enjoy, if you're a Bruins fan, or dread, if you're a Hawkeyes fan, this performance. 88-65, UCLA.